Welcome back. Here, we're going to pop open some packs from the 91-92 Pro Set Platinum Hockey and see what we can get. How we do it, up here we have our podium. Great cards go on that. When we find a good player, they get this horn. And when they're not great cards, they get this horn. We'll open them up, see what we find, and start right now. So here, we're looking for some celebrity captains. We are maybe try to find a Mr. Rogers or a Karate Kid. And then some Sergei Fedorov, Pavel Bure. Some great players in this series. And we'll talk values as we go. And this series is cool because you could see we have the full end-to-end color on the cards, no borders. So they look really, really nice that year. Chris Trottier. All right, we got Marv Albert, celebrity captain of the New York Rangers. Claude Boivin, Philadelphia Flyers. Nicklas Lidstrom. All right, Detroit Red Wings. Prospect card there. Really good player. Let's give him the horn. So we'll put him on the podium. I think he definitely deserves that spot. And we're getting a good start right here. We got Marv Albert, Lidstrom, and we're checking out Gord Murphy of the Boston Bruins. And Gary Lehman of the Calgary Flames. Mike Bullard of the Maple Leafs. Wow, a lot of horizontal cards. Adam Graves, New York Rangers. Claude Lemieux of the New Jersey Devils. And Neil Wilkinson, San Jose Sharks. And Peter Ahola of the LA Kings. That's cool. And some of these packs stick together a lot, like the cards in the packs. That was a pretty nice one. So let's see what we've got. Whoa, we got him. We have the Karate Kid himself. Welcome to the show, Ralph Macchio. How you doing? There we go. We're pulling some good ones. Let me see if I could sleeve these up as we get them, and that way we keep them in good shape. So for pricing, actually, let's talk about that as we go. The Nicklas Lidstrom that we pulled a little bit ago, our podium guy, that was around $20 in a PSA 10. And then we have our Ralph Macchio here, and he could be around $60 in a PSA 10. So we'll kind of put them aside and then see kind of what's what as we go. And actually, let me, now that we've got here, let's tuck Nicklas in his own sleeve, and that way they'll all be protected as we go, and I don't have to worry about kind of messing anything up as we're going. All right, Brett Hull, another great card, another great player. I think it's around $15 or so in a PSA 10. So it may be his different card that is that, so I'm not too sure about that one, but it's not one of the top ones. Brent Ashton. All right. And let's see. Then we've got, Rick Hansen, celebrity captain of the Vancouver Canucks. So let's check that out. Put him in our captain's pile. And Jacques Cloutier. It's a cool wide-angle shot. Let's see if we can kind of pick these up and if that'll work. Cliff Ronning of the Vancouver Canucks. Kalle Johansson of the Washington Capitals. Doug Gilmour of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the fact that these cards aren't sticking together like they often do is a really good sign, because if we find a really valuable card, it may be in better shape, just given how the rest of these are looking. And Brent Sutter of the Blackhawks. And Dean Evison of the San Jose Sharks. All right, cruising along. That was a good pack. We got some fun names. We got the Karate Kid. That's awesome. And let's see what's coming up next here. All right, Jim Belushi, celebrity captain of the Blackhawks. That's a fun one. They're a little stuck in this pack. Very cool. Good to see Jim. Welcome to our show of sorts. Troy Murray of the Winnipeg Jets. Let's see if the rest. I'll try this again. Claude Vilgrain, New Jersey Devils. Kevin Holler, Buffalo Sabres. Terry Karkner, Philadelphia Flyers, the cool black and white background and around him. Robert Richel of the Flames. Brad McCrimmon of the Detroit Red Wings. Ray Shepard, also of the Red Wings. That was a pretty powerful team. You got Fedorov and Lidstrom and a lot of guys on that. Neil Broughton, North Stars. Garth Butcher of the Blues. And for the cards where we don't mention them specifically, they're probably going to be around $1-ish as singles. And so we'll kind of help with the values there as we go. But you never know. Markets change. Players' reputations change. So while it's a snapshot in time, who knows what the future brings and what the interest shift. But for right now, we've got Mikael Anderson of the Hartford Whalers, and now they're starting to stick together again. And we have the Wales Conference. Tony Amonte, New York Rangers. I have to do a little bit of separation on these. And Terry O'Reilly, celebrity captain of the Bruins. Put him with our captains. Nelson Emerson of the Blues. Greg Kozlowski of the Quebec Nordiques. Brian Noonan of the Blackhawks. Brent Gilchrist of the Montreal Canadiens. Eric Desjardins, also the Canadiens. Bob Airey, Pittsburgh Penguins. Murray Craven of the Hartford Whalers. And Valerie Zelepukin of the New Jersey Devils. You can see some of these corners get real roughed up because here, straight out of the pack, you can kind of see that corner there is a little jammed up. So you never know. Cards could be fresh out of the pack, but not as good as others. Moving on to the next one. Let's see what we've got. All right, Curtis Joseph. Great goalie there. And cool picture, too. By another great goalie, Mike Richter, Platinum All-Star, New York Rangers. Another All-Star, Ray Bourque. All right, we're pulling them. Jerke Lume of the Canucks. Randy Hillier of the Sabres. Kevin Miller of the Red Wings. Stephen Leach of the Boston Bruins. Mike Donnelly of the Kings. And Mike Craig of the North Stars. Doug Waite of the Rangers. Pat LaFontaine of the Sabres. And Mark Bergevin of the Hartford Whalers. All right. Let's see what we've got. That was kind of quiet. Let's see if it gets a little noisier up in here soon. A little rowdy packs. That's what we're hoping for. A lot of action, a lot of names. Let's go. We got Mark Messier. All right. This is PC 20. So this set had a subset, PC 1 through 20. Series 2 has 11 through 20. So really cool to find that Mark Messier insert card there. Derek King. Ken Reggett. Nice goalie image there. Gary Galley, Philadelphia Flyers. Let's move this. Bob Assessna of the Winnipeg Jets. Sergio Momesso of the Canucks. Ron Sutter of the Blues. Cool black and white background there. And Mike Keane of the Canadiens. Claude Lapointe of the Nordiques. Corey Foster. Corey Foster. The font on the S looks kind of like an R. And but that's our Flyers player there. And we've got our LA Kings player, Brian Benning. And Brian Trottier. All right. So you can have value of around $20 or so in a PSA 10. So let's tuck him in his sleeve and we can evaluate potential later. And yeah, it's hard to get a 10. Yeah, sometimes it costs more than $20 to get it graded. So who knows if this will do anything. But for now, we'll sleeve it up. And we will sleeve it for later. And check it out then. So Clint Matarchuk here, last card in the pack, and moving on. Let's check out. We got 3 to go. Pack check. 1, 2, 3. We got this one next, and we are almost through this stack. It's going pretty quick. We haven't pulled a whole lot of big ones, but it's all part of the mystery, and who knows what is next. Al McInnes, all-star card there. Jamie McCown, Maple Leafs. Scott Mellenby, Edmonton Oilers. Brian Leach, New York Rangers. Vladimir Ruzheka of the Boston Bruins. Andre Lomakin of the Philadelphia Flyers. Brent Gilchrist of the Montreal Canadiens. Stu Barnes, Winnipeg Jets. Benoit Hogue of the Islanders. Brad Kudelski of the LA Kings. Joe Murphy of the Edmonton Oilers. And Mike Howe of the Quebec Nordiques. All right. 2 packs to go. What do you want to see? I'd love to see a Mr. Rogers. He hasn't popped up in a while. Or I think a Fedorov would be a cool card. We got Steve Larmer of the Blackhawks. These are a little stuck together, so we're going to have to go easy on these first ones until they get separated. There we go. Jeff Hackett of the Sharks. David Bruce, also of the Sharks. Looks like we got a Shark pack. Dmitry Kilbricht of the Caps, the Washington Capitals. Luciano Barato of the Winnipeg Jets. And we got it. Pavel Bure. Great player, great card. In a PSA 10. This could be worth around $30 or so. So we'll put him into a sleeve and add him into our group of nice cards that we pulled. So very nice, very nice. Always love seeing a Bure card. Adam Foote. Stephen Leach. Donald Audette of the Sabres. Paul Eiserbert of the Redwings. Steve Thomas of the Islanders. It's an action shot right there. And Bernie Nichols of the Oilers. All right, we're up to our last pack. That Bure definitely gave us a nice bump. Let's see if we can get something wild here. Let's still be looking for a Fedorov or a Mr. Rogers. So here we got Peter Zezel coming in as our first card. We got a celebrity coach, celebrity captain, David Wheaton. All right. Another celebrity captain, Jim Kelly. That could be worth around $20 or so, as a PSA 10. So we will sleeve him up and check more later. What I'll do is I'll take time and maybe do a dedicated video and just looking at all the potential 10s and then deciding if any is worth sending in, because it could be worth way less than the grading value on that. But for now, definitely a good pull. Followed up by Dan Quinn of the Philadelphia Flyers. And Derek King of the New York Islanders. Russ Romanowski, or Russ Romanek of the Winnipeg Jets. Claude Lapointe, Quebec Nordiques. Don Sweeney of the Boston Bruins. Jeff Sanderson of the Hartford Whalers. Gary Roberts of the Calgary Flames. Brian Bradley, Toronto Maple Leafs. And Sergei Nemchinov of the New York Rangers. All right, and that does it. Let's take a look at what we've got today. Some of the big ones are going to be we got our Jim Kelly, celebrity captain. We have Pavel Bure. We have our Trottier card. We got Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid himself, and Nicklas Lidstrom of the Detroit Red Wings. So some pretty good cards. I think some fun pulls as well. And there you have today's packs. So hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. And there you have it. Until next time.